everyone, welcome back to Animation Technically, and today we're looking at Amaterasu from the game Okami. This specific model I borrowed from Marvel VS Capcom 3, and I've deleted a few things for it, so all the additionals to do the black shading brushstroke stuff that you see on that model. I've not bothered with this because that's more code generated shader based animation. So the purpose of this, even though it's a really nice bipedal rig, it was actually to test out dynamics, because I get used to doing a lot of my dynamics in Unreal or in other software post importing animation to a game. So I wanted to try something on the Maya side. You don't get as much control with Maya, so there's no collision objects and things, no rigid body physics like you get in Unreal. But what you can see here, the idea is to animate the tail and these little flourishes dynamically, in this case with a little bit of animation just on the tail to give it the rough direction I wanted to go in. But you can see this is a very spline heavily based thing, giving me a lot of control over the curvature of the dog spine that Amaterasu has. So it gives me all the control I need to sculpt those curves that you get in dogs and cats, true, or bipedal animals do have a lot of flex in them compared to our spines. So you've got all the control there you need as well, along with the jaw, which is an odd bind pose for me, but you can get all the expression you need for it. Again, this wasn't made for the PS2 game, it's made for a fighting game, so expressions and things like that weren't as common. You can hand animate these in the same way you can hand animate the tail if you want to. So I've got controllers on them, but this is what I apply the dynamics to. Let's have a look at an animation. So you can see this is the run animation I did as the test to show off. You can see here I have a dynamics group with all the dynamics in. So if I turn that off, you can see that the actual animation isn't happening. What happens in this set of dynamics is that I've got everything set up from here onwards, and you can see I've done controllers. So you can choose if you want to blend between where the animation controllers want to put it or where the dynamics are putting it. You can manually type 0.5 if you want to, or any percentage you want to, and you can choose how you want it to react to the dynamics. So you can have it following the tip. If you scroll through, you can see it reacts differently. You can have a very, very floppy tail, or you can have it very, very rigid with very little flex on it, depending on what you're going for. And you can do the same thing with the base as well. You can have it follow, but in this case the base goal is more for if you're doing translational animation as opposed to something that's more rotational based as well. So if I was to be doing this kind of motion, you'd see this represented in the rest of the tail more than you would if it's following the rotation. But I've actually used reference from the PS2 game Okami for the run. So the run cycle itself is very much slightly slower because the dynamics do make it a bit heavy. But you can see everything that's going on there as well. I'm mostly using the spline controls, not the green FK controllers, to get this motion. But you can see what I've done there is actually changed how the tail reacts, but it doesn't look as nice anymore. But what we'll do, just for the sake of it as well, showing experiment, what we will do is we will just put that up like that for the purposes of showing the base skull and see how it changes the animation. You see what it does. It completely changes how the animation reacts. You have other controls as well, like the conserve. It's all stuff that comes with the basic advanced skeleton stuff. You can set this stuff up manually. It does take a long time. This was just so much easier for a quick experiment, as well as getting a bit of quadrupedal animation done, because I don't get to do that as often. Or at least not in the standard quadrupedal running you'll be used to. So having all the legs and the tail and everything, it was nice to do this, and I do love this character. I'd love to do more with a character like this. You can see the dynamics as well, giving a really nice flurry as well on the shoulder area too. It looks nice. It was just a fun little experiment to do, and if there's interest, I can break down how this is done, or how to set it up, how to do the whole quadruped rig, because I did use a template to start me off to make it quicker, but I've made a good few modifications as well to get the results I want, as how you should be rigging really. Save as much time as you can, but obviously do all those unique little flourishes and bits that make everything more enjoyable. And see you next time.